Hi guys, I hope you have a splendid day out there. Today we're going to talk about Swedish loanwords in the Finnish language. As you might know, I've done a video about Finnish loanwords in the Swedish language. Okay, enough about that. Let's go into this. As you might know, Finnish and Swedish are two pretty different languages. It's not even related to each other, but since we are neighboring countries, it's bound to be that way that we borrow words from each other. And so I've found 10 words which I found pretty cool sounding words, I guess. Mainly I picked these 10 words because they sound pretty funny to a Swedish guy because it sounds like the Swedish word, but it's very Finnish-ish. I also wanted to quickly mention that these words aren't necessarily Swedish, but the Finnish have used a Swedish version of it. But then where the origin is from, I don't know. Who knows these days? Maybe you can tell me. Okay, so the first word, butiiki. Is it butiiki? Butiiki. That means boutique in Swedish. And that, as you might have guessed, means store or boutique. It's a pretty cool word, actually. It didn't sound that funny now. It looked more funny than when I read it out loud. Next word is fänkål. And that is, in Swedish, fänkål, which means fennel. But that word sounds kind of funny because it's almost exactly the same as the Swedish word, but you add an I to it to make it more Finnish. Fänkål. Next word is kurkku, which comes from the Swedish word gurka, which means cucumber. What can I say? The Swedish word gurka isn't one of the most nicest sounding words. I would say kurkku sounds better than gurka. Kurkku actually sounds very Finnish, in a way. The next word is stadi, and that comes from the Swedish word stad, which means city. And it's pretty much the same word, but with an I, again, ending with an I. Not much to say about that. Next word is katu, and that comes from the Swedish word gata, and that means street. Katu, it almost sounds like a cat to me, but I guess it's not. It's apparently borrowed from the Swedish word, which is pretty cool. I wouldn't have guessed. Next word is rumpu. Rumpu means trumma in Swedish, and trumma means drum. The first time I saw this, I didn't believe that this was really what it meant, because rumpu almost looks like rumpa, which means bottom or butt. But apparently it means drum. Who knew? Who knew? Next word is skylti. And that means skylt in Swedish, which means sign in English. That's another word that sounds exactly like the Swedish variant, but you just add a I in the end and it suddenly becomes Finnish. Skylti. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly though. Next word is lyhti. Again, almost the same. The Swedish word is lykta, and in English that means lantern. The thing that you hold and go out in the woods. Why would you do that? I don't know. Again, they just add a vowel at the end and then suddenly it's Finnish. But cool thing. Next word is nappi. And that in Swedish is knapp, which in English is button. There's a joke going around here in Sweden that Finns don't know how to pronounce the K-N words that we have here in Sweden. So for example, the word knife in Swedish is kniv. Then it's common to make fun of Finns saying niv instead of kniv. But I don't know if that's true or not, but in this case it almost feels that way because you don't pronounce it knappi, you say nappi, because you don't want to say the K. I don't know why that is, maybe you can tell me. I don't know where I was going with that, but good things. And the last word of today, kejsari. It comes from the Swedish word kejsare, and that means emperor. Not much to say about that, but that it has an I in the end, as most of these words have. Alright, so that was some of the Swedish words that were loaned into the Finnish language. And as you might have noticed, and I noticed as well, is that a lot of the words sounds almost the same as the Swedish word, but they add an I at the end, which is kind of interesting. Maybe it has to do something with the way that the Finnish language is spoken. Who am I to know? Maybe you know. Hopefully you had a fun time here with me because I had a fun time with you. And until the next time I see you and your pretty face, I hope you have a splendid day. Moi!